The island of Sodor is the home of the Northwestern Railway. With engines of all shapes and sizes, working hard to deliver goods and passengers to their destinations. There are branch lines that run along the coast of the island, serving the docks, the fishing villages, and the seaside towns. There are branch lines that run to the farms, quarries, and ancient castles of the island's heartlands. And there is the main line, which runs all the way from Knapford on the west coast of the island to Vickerstown in the east, and the line continues over the Vickerstown Bridge, where it connects to the mainland beyond. One day, Henry was pulling a very important goods train on his way to the mainland. A faulty signal should have warned Henry there was another goods train stuck on the track up ahead. Then, everything happened at once. Poor Henry wouldn't be going to the mainland now. That night in the sheds, Thomas was still very cross about James. But then, an idea flew into Thomas's funnel. The next morning, James went to Vickerstown goods yard to collect his cars. Meanwhile, poor Henry was in the steamworks waiting to be repaired. Meanwhile, on the mainland, Thomas was having an adventure. But Thomas was far away on the mainland, and he wasn't going to be back anytime soon. There was still no sign of Bridlington goods yard, and by late afternoon, Thomas's coal bunker was nearly empty. So with coal in his coal bunker and his water tank full, Thomas set off once more in search of the goods yard. That night in Tidmouth's sheds, the other engines were wondering what had happened to Thomas. Thomas was put to work in the steelworks, shunting ladle cars and taking molten slag out of the slag heaps. That night on Sodor, James was more grumpy than ever. That morning, James had arrived at Bridlington goods yard. Thomas headed back along the branch line again, trying to remember the route he had taken before. So, Thomas and James headed back to Sodor together.